as I promised, we're going to whip out a quick little video about the semifinals and the what I think is going to happen in the grand finals of the Overwatch World Cup. So yesterday was kind of absolute pandemonium. U.S. lost to UK after a first round on Helios where they went 24-0, and then they won Helios, and then they kind of just fell apart. Big shout out to the UK. They played well, but honestly, I thought it was more about just the way the US didn't show up. They didn't play together at all. They weren't executing stun shatter combos, which is a really easy combo to run, and UK was using it to their heart's content. So they were getting all the big slams, and US was not. They just looked more confident. They were played better together. The U.S. just kind of looked like they threw 6 players out there, and they were all kind of doing their thing. And it didn't work out for them. I think just about everybody in the arena was stunned, and it's really unfortunate because I thought this year was U.S.'s chance to really go for it, but they are out. Then Canada beat France 3-0, and it was 3-0, but especially the first 2 maps were very close. The third one was pretty close as well, back and forth, but Canada just had that slight edge, which I thought they might have just because of agilities and Surefort, and that is kind of what it came down to. Mangachu also played very well in the first map when he was in. And yeah, so Canada moving on to the semifinals, and I didn't watch this one. I watched all the other ones, but South Korea defeated Australia with relative ease, it seemed. At least it was 3-0 the scoreline. So South Korea moving on to the semifinals without many problems at all. So that they'll face up against the UK, and then in the last matchup, Finland versus China. Finland was actually would be like my second pick to win it. For me, it was kind of like USA, Finland, South Korea, Canada, France, China, and then the other two. But yeah, China pulled it out. They were just better than Finland. I was shocked. I'd say these are the 2 biggest World Cup upsets ever. I think that the UK over US one is a little bit bigger than the China over Finland one, because I think a lot of people knew that China, and people who know about the scene know that these Chinese players are very good. These guys are mostly just contenders players, but I've heard of a lot of them. Late Young and Leave and some of those guys. Guxi, I believe pronounce it, their main tank, played out of his mind. It was just awesome to see, and yeah, they crushed it. And Finland put up a pretty good fight. I didn't think they played terrible. I thought that they just kind of got outplayed in the end, and China was able to take that. So, congrats to them. That's pretty awesome. They're moving on to the semifinals. So, China versus Canada, I think is going to be an excellent match. I think that in terms of skill and this meta and everything, Finland was known for running the goats, but I think that overall, because they have such a strong Sombra and Surefort, and because they have such good Doomfist and Pharah players in Mangachu and agilities, I think that Canada has the edge here. I think it will be close though. I think that Canada outclasses China in terms of skill still, but China's teamwork is very, very good. So we'll see if they run many tank heavy goats styles, because Canada did beat a goat team in France before. So we'll see if they run that. If they do, we'll see if Canada can beat another team of goats, because people have had a lot of trouble trying to come up with counters for goats. So who I think will win? I'm going to go with Canada still. I'm going to stick to my guns. Now that US is out, they're at least the team I'm rooting for. I mean, I'd be okay with any of these teams winning. I prefer to not be South Korea because they're already 2-time champs. So it would be cool to see someone else win, especially because underdog story. But yeah, I'm going to say Canada 3-2. But I wouldn't be shocked if China was going to the finals. They look very, very good. Um, and then the other side, UK versus South Korea. I think that South Korea isn't really going to look past UK. They're just going to be like, all right, let's look at this team and let's annihilate them. And I think they will do that. I think it's going to be 3-0. I really yesterday was more for me. It was more about US playing bad than UK playing good, and I don't want to take anything away from UK. They did play very good, but you saw in those moments, you saw in those snapshots where it's like, where you knew in the back of your head, UK should not be beating USA. They just shouldn't, in terms of like who has higher skill, but it just didn't work out. USA just didn't come to play. They honestly got too cocky. They choked. They didn't. It seemed like they didn't prepare like they should have, and very disappointed in them. But I mean, they literally won the first point of Helios 24-0. USA did, and on Kings Row they spawn camped UK for 2.5 minutes at least, and it's like you can't get spawn camped for 2.5 minutes and be the better team. That's just not how it works. Yeah, especially in Overwatch, and when you lose around 24-0 in a control point, you don't get a single kill. Not one kill. It's not that you didn't even win a team fight. You didn't get a single elimination. So, I don't think UK has the guns to go up against South Korea. I think South Korea will be a lot more focused than the USA was and not take UK as lightly. They'll say, okay, this team, they do this really well. They don't do this, that, and that well. And we're going to attack them there and destroy them. And I think they will. That'll be a 3-0. It'll send them into a rematch. I really didn't think we'd have a rematch this year of the finals, but that is what I'm predicting. I think that in the bronze medal match, I think China will take down UK 3-1, or potentially 3-2, but I think 3-1 in that one with some pretty close games. But China will come out on top. They're a bit of a superior team in my eyes, and then in the finals, I'm gonna take South Korea. I'm not sticking to my guns on this one. I don't love this matchup for Canada. We kind of saw it last year. Obviously, both of these teams are a bit different. South Korea is very different. Canada has a lot of the same players, but I think XQC is still a bit too rusty. He's not tip-top shape XQC. Canada was really scared to run Reinhardt, it looked like. They were running Winston like as much as they possibly could. And I don't think they quite have the flexibility, and they don't have the they don't quite have the synergy. They look awkward sometimes. They make like little mistakes like that. That's honestly, I think that's why France was in all of those matchups, because Canada would make these little mistakes. They'd overextend. They'd get kind of cocky, and then they would mess it up. XQC might jump in too far. Heals on the tanks were kind of shoddy sometimes, it looked like, to my eyes. So I think that these little mistakes here and there are going to cost Canada in the end. I think South Korea is going to be a bit more clean. I've watched a little bit of like VODs from the Australia match, and I was impressed with how they responded. I think a lot of people, including me, were a little bit too critical of South Korea. We're like, oh, they don't really look that great. But they still did kind of destroy their group, besides one close match with Finland. So, going on a tangent, in the end, I'm going to say it's going to be pretty darn close, but South Korea will take it in the end. I'm going to say 4-2. That will be a best of 7 for the gold medal. I think it's going to be 4-2 with a couple of those matches being very, very, very close. But in the end, I think South Korea is going to three-peat. But yeah, we'll see. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the comments. You think China's going to ride this wave and win it all? You think UK is going to pull off another enormous upset? You think Canada's going to get the revenge from last year? Or do you think South Korea is going to pull off the three-peat? Let me know. I'm looking forward to watching these matches today. Thank you very much for watching. Have yourselves a great couple days, and I'll see you in the next one.